several years, really over Kai's career, working in off seasons every now and then, and that just speaks to one, the respect that Steve has with his peers, but also just the fact that again comes back to humility and Steve saying, look, what can I give back to the game? How can I be a teacher? How can I pass some of my tricks on to the next generation and so forth? And honestly, you see that with Kai and Kevin now passing things on to whether it's Karras or Spencer or the rest of the guys, which is terrific.
Levert and Dinwiddie. Last thing for you, Sean Marks, general manager of the Nets. We got about 30 seconds here. Real quick, I think Nets fans and NBA fans are really wondering this short term. Health-wise, Kyrie and KD, where are they?
They are going to be ready to go. I can tell you that. So they're both extremely excited about being out there, and Kevin has said numerous times he can't wait to have that Brooklyn Nets jersey on, and hopefully he gets to walk out in front of fans at Barclays, but that's led to be seen, but they'll be ready to rock and roll.
Of course, the next question is, when will that be? We'll have to wait to see when the NBA's 75th season begins with Kyrie and KD playing center stage. Cannot tell you how much we appreciate you being with us this morning. Sean, thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Real quick, Woj on the way with more at the top of the hour. Stephen A. Smith at 8:30 a.m. Eastern to see if he's got a change of heart on some of his comments that Jay mentioned with regard to the white privilege on the hiring. Guys,
I got to tell you, I know it's a really difficult question to ask Sean. I really appreciate
his candor.
Yeah, his candor and the honesty in answering that. And, look, 7-Eleven is going to be the thing next year, right? Like, not the convenience store, but you're talking about KD and Kyrie.
He's
and
so
how
stupid, man.
Yeah, come on, Zoo, man. Come on, man. I can't. Fans at home came and see what just happened. I'm not even going to make mention of it.
Yeah, we're going to leave it alone.
I'm done too sensitive times. But it really is going to be entertaining.
We're all thinking it.
Oh, Lord.
I wasn't thinking
I
it.
wasn't thinking it. I can't with you.
Still to come on the way, as I mentioned, Woj. Who's going to take over the Sixers? How does the rest of the NBA look at the Nets right now? And what's the reaction around the league to the hiring of Steve Nash? That's on the way.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Public speaking, getting stranded at sea, gas station bathrooms, venomous snakes, paying too much for a bed that isn't right for you. These are the most common fears in America. That's why Mattress Firm came up with the Rest Assured Promise. So you'll find the right bed at the right price, guaranteed. And during our Labor Day sale, save up to 50% on America's best-selling brands like Sealy and more. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations and only while supplies last. Some products only available online. Visit mattressfirm.com for details.
This is a special end of summer announcement from Dell. At our Labor Day sale, small businesses can save up to 50% on select business computers with Intel Core processors. We're committed to taking
You kidding me? A Friday? Before a long weekend?
I literally forgot. I forgot about this song.
No,
I did. I did.
No, you can't forget.
Oh, my gosh. This is like a little taste of honey. Remember Taste of Honey, the band? Taste O Honey? Oh, love a little taste of honey on a Friday morning.
Bit of honey candy. Couldn't stand it.
No. I don't like bit of honey.
No.
But Taste of Honey.
Taste of honey.
You know what Taste of Honey is?
Like this?
The Taste of Honey is exactly like this. Crank this thing up.
All right. Happy Friday, everybody.
Hey, by the way, what was Taste of Honey? They had one big hit, Taste of Honey did. Do you remember it?
Wow, this is a new record. Literally 30 seconds into the show, I'm already going to need some efforty music.
Taste
Boogie Oogie.
Boogie Oogie Oogie, gonna boogie like it ain't no. Come on, boogie. Yeah. Taste O Honey.
Taste O Honey. Boogie Oogie Oogie.
Boogie Oogie Oogie. Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore, Mike. Listen to that tune right there.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh, that's just. Ooh.
Yeah. You know, you can't
Turn the
help.
lights down low.
You can't help. Like, you're doing a little hip chair dance right now in the car. And you do that too all the time. Yeah, come on. Get down, boogie, oogie, oogie. Yeah. Man, this is going to be a great show. It's already started off.
It's already started.
This thing is we're hitting grand slams right off the bat.
We are into full Friday mode already. Yeah. Again, our own personal Google machine. Our RonaldSlaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. And, here come the Boogie Oogie Oogie text. So, thank you. Thank you, everybody. All right, it is and Is It Just Me Friday, where we give you a chance to get loose a little bit, have a little fun, get some things off your chest, stuff that you've picked up over the course of the week that you want to discuss, you want to criticize, you want to congratulate, you want to observe.
I've never done this before, but I'm going to give you Is It Just Me Friday.
All right, just, again, hit us up on the RonaldSlaw.com text line, 303-713-1043, and give it to us in the form of, Is It Just Me?
This is 5 years in, and I don't believe I've ever done an Is It Just Me?
Not this, again, not on your own, not this early.
Yeah, that's not normally I don't do, like, the preparation stuff. So, is it just me, or did that game last night look like the JV team got an opportunity to scrimmage the varsity team?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and let me give you some credit.
In
the form of Is It Just Me? Or is it just me? Or you were right. You were really concerned that they would be fatigued, tired, worn out.
More mentally, I think. I think more mental exhaustion than physical.
Because that team did look tired.
Yeah.
They looked a step slow physically, mentally. And, you're right. They did not look good. But, hey, they just climbed out of a 3-1 hole where they got destroyed in a couple of games against Utah. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that they'll bounce back before I bury them in this series, like Charles Barkley did yesterday, saying at halftime, he was emphatic, no way.
They have no chance.
No chance, no way they can win this series.
Yeah. None. Right.
You agree with that?
Boy, I tell you what, I cannot. I don't think they're going to win, Mike, but I'm not going to be that emphatic. I am going to give them a chance to bounce back, refresh. When do they play? Do they play Sunday or Saturday? Saturday, Sunday.
Let me check.
Because
they play tomorrow. This is an every other day type thing in the bowl.
Even so, Mike, I think that what you saw yesterday, more than physical exhaustion, was mental exhaustion. I thought you saw a team that exhaled. And even though they were playing on quote-unquote house money, Mike, it took a lot out of that team. And I think you saw that yesterday. You saw a super fresh Clippers team and a team with the Clippers that's had some questions and hasn't really played that good of basketball up until this point. And I tell you the other thing that you see with the Clippers, every guy every guy from an athletic standpoint and a build standpoint, to me, looks almost the same, and they can all defend the perimeter. I mean, that's like, I was just watching. I go, you think defense matters, guys? Do you think the way you build your club matters? Because what I saw was a team that they can defend you through the entirety of 4 quarters. And when you're already mentally exhausted, and then you have that kind of pressure, because it was, 31-31 after the first, and you have that kind of pressure on you consistently, eventually.
Well, hey, you know what that means? Get your work done early and start your Labor Day weekend early on a Friday.
Yeah.
And
I'm just
hunker down, relax, and watch the Avs start at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Who wrote that?
Tracy.
Is Tracy a hockey gal or a hockey guy? Not sure. I'm just gonna give Tracy a bit of information. This is like a public service announcement.
Right.
They would put hockey on primetime, both Game 7s, if people in this country watched hockey.
Uh-oh. Is it just me, or Mark is already spitting into the wind?
Yeah.
Pulling on the tail and
right. Yeah.
Stepping on Superman's cape. Here we go. You just want to incur the wrath of hockey fan, don't you?
If hockey was important in the country.
Yeah, boy.
Now, you know what, they probably, maybe in Canada they're tape delaying this son of a gun, so they're both in prime time. No, they're just putting the Canadian teams on prime time, right? Is there a Canadian team?
Yeah, Vegas and Vancouver.
Yeah.
That's the prime time game.
Oh, okay, because you know why? That's important in Canada. I'm just letting you know how ratings work. There's a reason the Saints have 11 primetime games.
Yeah, but you can't. Come on, NBC. You can't put. You couldn't put Dallas, Colorado on tonight on NBC.
Oh, there's a lot of things you could do.
Heck, put it tonight on CSNBC or put it on NHL Network. But boy, 2 o'clock on maybe they're counting on the idea, and rightly so, that it's a Friday of a long weekend, a holiday weekend, and maybe a lot of people will be checking out early. So
yeah,
put it on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, they're looking their primetime schedule on Friday going into a long weekend.
I know.
They will get a better rating, with a rerun of Little House on the Prairie or whatever it is they're going to put on there. I'm just letting you know how TV
look at
works.
The text line 3, 2, 1.
Little House on the Prairie was a great show.
Yes, it was.
It was a great show. I'm just saying.
The Ingalls family.
Oh, the Ingalls.
You got another chance. Well, no, it's underway. The whole George Karl thing is underway, Benny. Why would we be doing it again?
Yeah, it's done.
It's done.
You can't get back in. They've already had game 1, and I'm happy to say that this time I'm not going to go on the schneid this time, like I did last time, because I listened to DMac and took Bol and Michael Porter Jr. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. I'm not listening to DMac and the Tebow the manifesto.
The Bol manifesto?
Yeah,
No,
I'm not listening
no.
to the Bol manifesto.
No. Okay, is it just me? Friday, we're off and rolling. Your hot takes next.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Apple Air, one of the proud members of Mark's All Pros Referral Network, doing it different than any other referral network. Check it out at marksallpros.com. Let me tell you about Apple Air and the Apple Air proper installation as long as you own that system. And then the lowest price guarantee. They're going to match any apples to apples quote. They'll even give you $100 off the top of that. And that extends past 90 days past your installation, guys. That's the Apple Air guarantee, and that's what's different, guys. I like to say sweep the corners. They take care of the little things, the details, and I've experienced it firsthand at my own home, at my neighbor's home, all the people in the neighborhood that now use Apple Air. They are a trusted Marks All Pros referral network advisor. Check them out at 303-733-2813, 303-733-2813, or find them online at willsandwellness.com.
I like this one. Is it just me? Darn it, NHL, you're messing with my nap time. Sincerely, Mike Evans.
Yeah. Well, you better mow early today, Mike. Mow early, get your chores done, get yourself ready. Here's the great thing about an afternoon game for a guy like me, and I'm sorry, but, my schedule.
And by the way, the reason why is because both games are in Edmonton. They only have one sheet of ice.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. So you'd have to put the other game would have to be played tomorrow, and they just want to keep this thing moving along. So.
Right. And Vegas, let's face it, Vegas is probably – is it a bigger it's a bigger market, right?
Well, no, you got Dallas and Denver. Those are bigger markets than
Friday. You should cut out early, get your stuff done, head home, watch the Avs game, and then you know what? You roll right into the Rockies. Rockies play tonight in L.A. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
James, our beloved James Marilat, said they saved their season the other day. Don't you think they're going to get the big mo off that comeback victory against San Francisco?
Yeah, right. Sure.
Get the big mo.
Yeah, big mo.
Yeah.
They've lost 45 games in a row.
Well, let's not get bogged down by statistics.
That's right. There's lies.
Right.
Damn lies, and then there's statistics.
Yeah, they've been bogged down by statistics based upon, I don't know, the pitching, I guess. But anyhow, so it's a pretty good little Friday afternoon for you.
Yep, little afternoon delight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it just me, or is Jamal Murray the Nuggets' Scottie Pippen? He just doesn't have that alpha above him. A really good player, but he's never going to be the guy to lead a team to greatness. Ooh. Don't tell ESPN that.
They're banking.
They've embraced Jamal Murray. They clearly want it to be Jamal Murray and the Denver Nuggets more than they want it to be Nikola Jokic in the Denver Nuggets.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Listen, I don't know what to make. I don't know what to make of the 3 games. Like, it was huge game, 12 and then 14, and then huge game, and then, game 7 wasn't as great, and game 1 of the opener, he was like 5 of 15 shooting, Mike. And I suppose I give him a hall pass, right, because of the mental exhaustion. Yeah, 5 of 15, he had 12 points yesterday, 2 from 8 from three-point land, minus 18 yesterday. 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Tell me perimeter defense doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, that's as brilliant as he was for those 3 games. So the 3 brilliant games that he had, 50, 42, and 50, have been sandwiched by 2 games before that, 14 and 12, and 2 games after, on a bad night.
Yeah.
He just has too many wild swings.
You'd have to fly back over to somebody else's stadium, somebody else's city, and you got to play that night. And it's just the way it is. So he's like, all you got to do is, walk across the grass in the bubble and get yourself snacks and dinner and lunch and a little brekkie. It's all served right there for you. You don't have to go anywhere. And I know that there's stress mentally and all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, I give them a bit. I'm not going to give them a complete hall pass, Mike, but I give them a bit of a hall pass because you went through a game 7 and it was, there was some emotional, like you had to dig deep emotionally. There was a gut check aspect to all of that. And I'm going to give them the mental exhaustion aspect of this than I am going to the physical exhaustion.
Yeah, let's see how they bounce back.
Right.
If they bounce back after a day off, they'll take it easy today. Give them the chance to respond before we bury them. Now, this happens again in game 2. Well, then probably see you later. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
I can hope. 50 years.
Yeah.
They were now for 50 years. Like they were the, oh, aren't you guys cute?
Yep.
We're really good this year. Hey, this is our year. We're really good. Oh, it's cute. But now look at them.
Yeah, but he's probably right. They probably will be 1-0 a week from now.
I know.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Morning Brew is coming up next. How does Vic Fangio feel as he gets ready to head into cut day? That's right. Broncos got to cut down the roster coming up this weekend. We'll hear from the coach next. Well, there's Michael Malone's analysis after a Game 1 blowout loss to the L.A. Clippers. To me, Mark, the key to this series is Paul George. You know what you're going to get from Kawhi Leonard. Paul George did not have a good series against Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Came on at the end of the series and then looked energized again last night. If he's going to continue to play at that level, I just don't know if the Nuggets can get past the duo of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Because last night he looked engaged.
Right.
Patrick Beverley came back, and Patrick Beverley's one of those guys that instantly annoys you. You know, you love to have him on. He falls under that category of you love to have him on your team and you hate him on the other team. Because right away, he came back and he provided a lot of energy. So, hey, it was a terrible performance. One, I guess, in hindsight, you could see coming off a grueling 7-game series against Utah. But I will give them the benefit of the doubt that they can bounce back in Game 2 before I go ahead and bury them.
All right. Well, I understand that. I thought it was interesting, too, late into the fourth quarter, Paul George was still playing. All the other benches had been cleared. It was very much like the seeding tournaments, like where Bol was playing and Michael Porter Jr. was playing. Everybody, they had cleared the benches. Paul George was still playing. Why? Probably because Paul George needed to find his rhythm, right? Paul George had not played well against Dallas. He stayed in there late. Shows you something about the coaching of Doc Rivers and where they feel like they are, but you're 100% right. And Mike Malone's 100% right. And they've got too many good perimeter players. They can all guard and they can all score. They're going to be tough to beat, Mike. There's no question.
Next on the Morning Brew.
Avs right now. I think I just think the confidence is there, the momentum is there. I'm gonna say that game. What was the game? Game 5, where the
bonus blunder.
I'm gonna say Game 5 is what's gonna cost them. Man, it costing Rick Bowness. I don't know what could it cost him his job. It's just a huge gaffe.
It should.
A huge gaffe, open the door for the Avalanche, basically, kick. It's like those old in the magazines, the old comic books where it was like Joe Weider or whatever it was, or Joe Atlas, where they're kicking sand in the little scrawny guy's face. They kicked sand in the scrawny guy's face.
Wow.
The scrawny guy got into the gym.
Yeah, we can't even play the OK Boomer on that
right.
one. That's going back even.
You remember those, right? Where the guy kicks the sand?
Yeah,
and then he goes.
You and George Carl both know about those.
Yeah, and then, well, we're about the same age. And then he goes into the gym and he gets all buffed. I think he was on. You think
he was on the roids?
I think he got
he
on
had
the
to be on the juice.
Yeah,
he got big fast.
He got big fast.
Yeah.
You just don't get big that fast. I think.
Plus, he got really irritable. If he's kicking sand in the face of people, he must be irritable. And
the first guy was
byproduct.
kicking the sand, and then he came back. He got all sauced up. He got on the weights, and then he started bullying people.
Yeah,
which
good point.
is a telltale sign. Plus, I think he had acne on his back.
That's a lot of acne.
Yeah, a lot of acne.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Where the heck were we?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, the Avs.
All
right. How do they win? Is it a good goaltending? Michael Hutchinson continues to be in the zone type thing, or is this a 5-4 type win?
No, I think that's it. I think the Avs continue to press. They put a bunch on their defense. Their defense rose up. Zadorov was really good. I think they go with the physical, the physical style that they played with the other night, and I think they win this. It's a 4-2 game.
I was
or
just going
to
say maybe a late empty net goal,
right.
4-2. Dallas is going to be pressing, squeezing the stick.
Mm-hmm.
Their top line of Radulov, Sagan, and Ben has been MIA the last couple of games. I think the Avs, I'm going to go like a 4. Yeah, good call, 4-2. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Avs Stars Game 7 coming up 2 o'clock today. All right, next to the Morning Brew. Wow. Now that's some major spin right there.
Right.
Talking about Vic Fangio talking about trading Isaac Adam. Well, we're deep there. We're deep. Now your nose is growing, Vic. Come on. You're not deep at the cornerback position.
Well,
you're trying out about like 6 different guys for that position.
Right. Well, you have a lot of people.
Yes.
Right. So that is not a lie. I hope he makes this look bad. Well, he already has. You just got rid of a 3rd-round draft choice.
For a 7th-round pick.
For a 7th-round pick.
He made you look bad.
Yeah. You just picked, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So he's already made you look bad.
Yes,
so you got that part of your wish has come true already.
Yeah. Yes.
I hope he makes us look bad. Ding, 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 winner. Right?
See, it's that kind of commentary that make the Broncos so happy that you're going to be calling their game against Tampa week
that endears
3.
me. Endears me to the folks.
Oh, that's why they love you.
Well, listen, they that's what their wish was, and they got it.
Yeah.
I mean, good for you guys. Way to go.
Next on the Morning Brew. There's Jarrell Casey, who knows a little something about Derrick Henry. They were teammates together last year with the Titans. And here we go. We start dialing in.
Ooh.
We are, about 10 days away from the Broncos opener against Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And just a kind of a quick look ahead. How do you think the Broncos shape up against what figures to be a heavy dose of Derrick Henry?
It does figure that, right? Listen, that is one of those situations when you have a back like that, like Jarrell Casey said, you can't let that guy split that gap going downhill. You got to get him moving his feet sideline to sideline, which means you had best have your gap secure, right? And you try to push him out, use the sideline as a defender, get him running sideways, making sure that he can't come downhill.
Is reporting that the Saints and Titans are the 2 teams pressing the hardest to try to get Jadeveon Clowney. Both teams want to try to get it done with the idea that he'd be ready to go.
Right.
It's Monday night.
That is interesting. That is really – Jadeveon Clowney's a hell of a football player, man. I mean, he's a really good football player.
That'll do it for the Morning Brew. Bring that to you each and every morning at 6:30. Speaking of the Broncos-Titans matchup, more importantly, what to expect with Cutdown Day. Could there be some surprises? We'll talk to our pal Cecil Lammy coming up next.
Hey, guys, let me ask you a question. How'd you like to get a big-time raise, right? Well, I tell you what, my friends at Ideal Home Loans can help you with that. Well, they're not going to give you a raise, but they can help you save hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month. Ideal Home Loans, where first they listen, then they lend. Brent Iverson, the owner, is committed to Colorado, being local and helping you. They've been serving Colorado since 2001. I've been working with them for well over a decade, guys, and there's so many ways they can help you. How about a custom term mortgage where they have you saving hundreds of dollars every single month without adding years to the end of your term? Maybe it's consolidating, using that equity, pulling out some money to do that home improvement project, or many of us are piling up credit card debt during these tough times. They can help alleviate that. The average homeowner carries about $22,000 worth of credit card debt. How about consolidating that credit card debt, putting it into your home loan, have you saving hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month? That's my friends at Ideal Home Loans, where first they listen, then they lend. Call them. See how they can serve you. 303-867-7000. That's 303-867-7000, or online at idealhomeloans.com.
All right, let's bring in our pal Cecil Lammey as we get set for cutdown day for the Broncos coming up tomorrow. And Cecil, good morning. Do you expect any surprises when the list comes out? Do we have Cecil? Let me bring him up. I'm sorry, my bad. Hello, Cecil. Sorry about that. My bad.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any surprises because, the roster was already at 80. We can kind of do the math already in terms of picking the 53-man roster. We probably could have done it maybe even a month ago. There will be some surprises maybe that, people might thought of guys like a Sang Bassi, Levante Bellamy. Are they practice squad bound? Or are they active roster bound? There is no preseason for teams to, showcase a guy's abilities or a guy to showcase his own abilities. And there's no preseason for another team to watch and steal a guy away. So basically it's what has he done in camp? How many guys out there, other teams would be interested if, let's say, in a Sang Bassi were to be released just so he could get put through to the practice squad. I think the Broncos keep him on the active roster for Bassi specifically. A guy that's made plays at the cornerback position that this team desperately needs. Cornerback is a huge question mark. And when you talk about a guy coming out of Wake Forest, 35 batted passes over the last 2 seasons, number 1 in the FBS. So, the guy's taken that playmaking ability. He's a very aggressive player. He's taken that ability from college, and that's translated to training camp and to those practices. I think he's safe to say he'll make that 53-man roster. Somebody like Levante Bellamy, maybe practice squad. But it's going to be very interesting, and I don't know how many guys are going to be, quote-unquote, stolen this year, because there is no preseason. Usually, remember, it was the old Bradley Van Pelt, right? Shanahan's hiding him. He doesn't want to play him much in the preseason, hiding him so he can get him through the practice squad. There's none of that conversation this year because there are no preseason games. So that'll be kind of an interesting little thing thrown in the mix. But really, I think we can all pretty much guess the 53-man roster right now.
Well, New England mentioned and made a statement that Cam Newton is their starting quarterback going into week 1. Pretty much we all knew that
season is a week away, and I guess my mind's stuck on those cornerbacks. But that, to me, is a huge conversation. This was back on the practice field yesterday. I will be at the stadium tonight because they do have practice tonight, the final training camp practice. So, we'll figure out what Todd Davis can do, see how much he does next week. I'll be out there next week as well as we get into regular season mode. But you have linebacker issues still. You have cornerback issues still. You have questions on the offensive line in terms of health, although it seems fairly positive about Graham Glasgow right now. So, due to injuries and just inexperience at certain positions like cornerback, you do have some starting lineup decisions that have yet to be made. So it's not only just figuring out who's on the 53, although the team knows that now pretty much. I don't know what one practice at the stadium can really get a guy. This is like the 4th preseason game, although it's probably less impactful than the 4th preseason game. And as someone who has every preseason game on tape from the year 2000 until now, I don't have any week 4 preseason games on tape because they don't matter. I don't know how much you could do tonight.
Right. Let me just interject right there because I've been a little bit concerned about the lack of just live drills, like live to the ground drills, live just running the ball and just kind of the toughness quotient, the nastiness quotient. Like there's part of that I feel like you got to go through before you play in your first game. How concerning is that for you? And will they see it tonight? Will they see it tonight?
Well, I don't know. Vic Fangio's been pretty limited with that, right? He's been asked about that. He's talked about it, about how, don't really want to get these guys banged up. They've already fought through injuries. And you've got some guy named Derrick Henry, who last year only had 28 yards against the Broncos. So you think, wow, the Broncos defense, they can do that again. Yeah, that was week 6, and that was with the preseason. This is no preseason. This is Derrick Henry week 1. I know Tampa Bay, continues to talk about Ronald Jones as their starter. BA does. But Leonard Fournette's no slouch. Last time I saw him against Denver, what do you have, like a couple hundred yards? So that's a concern when you've got a James Conner, a Leonard Fournette, a Derrick Henry week 1. you're going to get punished early if you're the Broncos. And if this Broncos defense truly wants to lead the way, one, the running and I know Adam Gase still
limited edition locked and loaded training camp T-shirts that we gave out, and it is I mean,
beautiful
you really
shirt.
do.
Beautiful
I mean, it really does feel good. It's a high quality T-shirt that you would love to be seen walking around wearing. So we held out a few extras. So be callers 4 and 5, or 4 and 5. Right now, and we'll mail one your way. Give us a call at 303-713-1043, 303-713-1043. Callers 4 and 5, you will win. It's an Is It Just Me Friday as we give you a chance to get stuff off your chest. It can be hot takes on the Broncos as we start to dial in, focus in on the Titans. The Avs, prediction game 7. Do you feel good about the Nuggets being able to bounce back? We get to all of that next. Dad bods, unite. That's right. All of us guys out there with the dad bods that are looking to do something about it to make us look and feel better. I have a solution. It's Absolute Beauty Solutions, where you can use FDA-approved red light wavelengths to target fat cells and lose inches in the places you want. It's very simple. For example, I'm trying to lose some stubborn belly fat. You spend about 40 minutes at Absolute Beauty Solutions. You relax on a comfortable bed. Hey, do a little reading, listen to some music, maybe you doze off, all while red light wavelengths target your fat cells, open them up, fat gets released, and is digested naturally through the body. I've done about 5 of these sessions, very happy with the results, already lost 4 to 5 inches. I got more motivation to work out, more motivation to get and eat better. Absolute Beauty Solutions has 2 locations to choose from, the original in Arvada on Ward Road, and their new location in Littleton at Quincy and Wadsworth. Now, Absolute Beauty Solutions guarantees you will lose 2 overall inches on your Happy Friday, everybody. Big weekend on tap, long weekend. Hopefully everyone's got Monday off. We'll be back here, though, Monday morning.
That's right.
We're going to labor on Labor Day.
Yeah, we do not have Monday off.
We will be here. Millennial Ben will not be here.
Millennial
Ben getting the day off.
Huh. I didn't know Millennial Ben got days off.
I didn't know either. I'm wondering how he got Labor Day off and we didn't.
Well, he's essential.
Huh.
We are not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So anyway, hope you have a great weekend on tap. It's Is It Just Me Friday, where we give you a chance to get stuff off your chest heading off in the weekend. It could be about anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me or the Nuggets who we thought they were? Wow. Are we wait a minute. We're abandoning this team right after just one game? They didn't do enough during that 7-game battle with the Jazz to at least earn your benefit of the doubt?
Yeah, come on. I mean, didn't you realize that after a 7-game series, and obviously the Clippers were rested, a 7-game series that took, incredible just grit, and it took a mental toll on you that you didn't expect at some point there to be a bit of a letdown? I mean, that I just look at that game as like, okay, I know that from the second quarter on, it looked like the JV got to scrimmage the varsity. The varsity put it on them, and I get that. But I guess I'm going to – do I think they're going to win this series? No, but do I give them a chance to compete in this series? Absolutely. And anything can happen when you have a chance to compete. So I'm not like you. I'm not burying them quite yet, and I am giving them not a hall pass, but a what's like a hall pass, only not a hall pass?
Oh.
She used to get a bathroom pass.
Yeah, no, hall pass.
Hall pass was for the bathroom.
Yeah, you got me flummoxed. I'm not sure. I can't think of a better one other than a hall pass. Just give him a pass.
Just give him a pass?
Just give him a pass. I'm going to give him a pass. I'll tell you what. I'm going to give him a mulligan.
A mulligan.
All about that.
Yes.
I'm going to give them a mulligan for game one.
Mully.
Kawhi finds that funny.
I'm going to give it's a breakfast ball. They get the proverbial breakfast ball. You show up to the course, nobody's warmed up. You go, hey, breakfast ball, first tee. Yeah, certainly. You ever notice that you get a breakfast ball, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you get a breakfast ball?
Yeah.
Why don't you get a lunch ball?
Lunch ball.
Why don't you get a dinner? Half lunch, half dinner.
Midday snack
Linner.
ball.
Midday snack ball.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere ball.
Right, but it's always a breakfast ball.
Sure.
100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving them a breakfast ball.
Is it just me, or should the Broncos take that 7th-round pick they got in the Yadam deal and trade it for Josh Rosen? Is this from DMac?
Oh, my gosh.
Or from Millennial Ben? Millennial Ben loves Rosen, too.
He does?
Yep. So does
I'll tell you why that's never going to happen. Rosen went to UCLA. Elway, a Stanford guy. That's not going to work, right?
Plus, there's a little Pac-12 rivalry there.
Plus, they've already got a quarterback that is young and
he's not a first rounder.
Inexperienced and
even better, he wasn't taken in the top 10. Even worse,
it hasn't
not
played
one of the
well.
Hall of Fame 5.
How many more guys do you need? I mean, listen, if Josh Rosen was a former first rounder that he just didn't play very well, but he hung around for a long time and eventually became a backup, and you wanted to bring him in because he's got a lot of experience and he's dealt with pressure and changing offenses and all that stuff, then I'm in. But, bringing Josh Rosen in here for what? Like, what's the purpose?
So in case Drew Lock isn't the answer, you have a young quarterback waiting in the wings.
Who can't play.
Well, has that been established for sure? Or has he just not been given the opportunity?
Well, he was given the opportunity in Arizona 1 year after being taken, 9th, 10th overall. They shipped him out of town for Kyler Murray, and then he goes to Miami and he can't even press Fitzpatrick. And now he's being shipped again. There's a Phil Collins song in there somewhere. Shipped again. Whoa. Right? And that Phil Collins was missed again or something?
Missed again.
Yeah. Shipped again. Whoa. I don't know the lyrics to that, but somewhere you could fit Josh Rosen in there. He was waiting in line, but he was just wasting everybody's time. Josh Rosen being shipped again. Whoa. You know? I mean, yeah, that's what I want.
You know,
that's what I want backing up.
I've worked here at the Fan for over 20 years, and one thing that never changes over the years is how many people who've worked on this station actually believe they can sing. Is it just me, or is it amazing how many hosts on this station actually think they can sing and choose to share that with the listening audience?
Well, I don't.
Their singing ability that they feel so strongly about.
I know that I can't sing. Wait a minute. Maybe I need
that
to.
one. That one is strong.
Maybe I can sing. I know that I can't sing. I'm just telling you that random stuff pops into my head, and it's just kind of shipped again. Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah. Shipped again.
Maybe I should reserve judgment on that one. Everybody else, no, but you.
I am. You know what
absolutely.
I am? I'm the Weird Al Yankovic of this program.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I can see
Weird
that.
Al.
I can see that. Is it just me? I'm going to have my own. Is it just me? Is it just me, or how geeked are you when no less an authority than Peyton Manning, in talking about Drew Lock, says the one word I would use to describe him is swagger? Ooh. Is that Peyton just being nice? Understanding his audience? He's just being nice? Or do you think he really believes that?
No, I think he
is that the one word? If you had one word to describe Drew Lock, is that maybe the word you'd use? Or would you come up with another one?
Well, listen, Peyton, one thing Peyton has done a great job. He respects this game so much. He knows how difficult this game is. And, one thing that he has always been is he's always been complimentary of people, regardless, right? He never has nary a bad word to say, because that's just it's not his quote-unquote job, right? He doesn't like that, which, I think most people appreciate about Peyton. Swagger is great. And I think we've all seen some swagger about Drew Lock. Swagger doesn't really mean anything, though, does it? I mean, did Jeff George have some swagger about him? Sure that he did.
Did Jay Cutler have swagger?
Jay Cutler? Did the Cuts have swagger? And there's a different energy, I feel like, that way different than Cutler or way different than Jeff George. So I think the swagger aspect of that is great, and I think it's apropos. I think it fits. But what is there a word you'd rather hear? Like
precise, or
he's got great anticipatory skills.
That's not a word.
Oh, that's the phrase.
That's a phrase.
Wow. Holy man. Sorry, Proctor Mike. Lord, I didn't realize I was taking the SAT.
Kind of jumped ugly on you a little bit there, didn't I? Sorry about that.
I'm telling you what, I just I have a vision of you in some nun outfit with a ruler in your hand whacking me over the knuckles. You're just knuckling me.
You know who never had swagger?
Who's that?
Paxton Lynch.
Oh, you, my friend,
I just redeemed myself.
You did totally redeemed yourself.
It was day number 2054 of the Paxton Lynch smear campaign. It marches on.
Yeah.
All right. What word? Okay, I'll throw this out on the RamoSlot.com text line. In addition to the "Is it just me?" What one word would you use, Broncos country, to describe Drew Lock? One word. One word.
I know what Vance would call him. Tall.
One word. RamoSlot.com text line 303-713-1043. There it is. I see no difference between you and Phil Collins.
Mm-hmm. Identical. Yeah. I want what's his name?
Josh?
Yeah, I want Josh Rosen. Like, I want to be kicked in the shins. We're really skipping around on that song. That would, yeah. It's kind of like his career, skipping around. We should just rename him Skippy. He just skips from town to town, skips into Arizona, and then he skips off to Miami. Now he's going to skip to wherever he's going.
Is it just me? I wanted to call Drew Lock a breath of fresh air, but Sister Mike would have probably boxed my ears. So I'll go with refreshing. Sheila in Arvada.
Sister Mike. I could see you. You're doing, the body solutions thing. So, you're trim and fit. You're getting that nun outfit on. I could just see you in that nun dress with the little, I don't know that they make one of those little flip over hat pieces to the nun, like the little cap thing. It's like a dress hoodie. The nuns wear a dress hoodie. I don't think there's a big enough.
Even the bearded lady would be like, how do I compete against that? Do you see some Drew Lock, Brett Favre type comparisons in terms of style? Easy, everybody, before you freak out. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Brett Favre, but do you see some similarities there?
I suppose. I mean, I think
if you had to look at, okay, here's one for you.
Okay,
if you had to look at Drew Lock and say stylistically, just the way he plays, moves, acts, everything, he reminds me of this quarterback. And it could be a great quarterback. It could be a lousy quarterback. I don't care, but who comes to mind?
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler. I've been saying that since day one. Man, he reminds me of Cutler.
It just has got that body type.
Yep.
He's tall. He's not stocky. But he's kind of a big, lean guy.
Yeah, he's lanky, tall.
Yeah.
But yet, strong looking.
Right. What word
runs around.
Is there a word for you that describes kind of the way you feel about him going into this year?
Oh, boy.
Like Peyton said, swagger.
Yeah, that would not be the word. To go into the season, how would one word to describe Drew Lock? Unprepared.
I was going to say inexperienced.
I was just going to say, same thing.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I just go with unprepared is that poor guy just hasn't had an off season to do anything. He hasn't had OTAs. He hasn't had minicamp. He's had a different kind of training camp. Hasn't had time to be able to really get out on the field with new receivers, new offensive coordinator. It's just, and I've mentally prepared myself that this is going to be at least probably week 5 or 6 before this offense really starts to
congeal,
reach its potential.
Yeah. Here's something I was thinking about yesterday, Mike. Think about what you're asking Drew Lock to be. 6 years, his last 6 years. And I'm with you. I think there's going to be significant growing pains along the way. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have an unbelievable skill set and leadership ability and all that stuff. I'm just saying there's going to be growing pains along the way. This defense is going to have to, you've said it before. I'll just concur with you. It's going to have to be for them to even sniff a potential playoff opportunity toward the end of the season. They are going to have to be a top 5 defense. They're going to have to turn the ball over. They're going to have to give you short fields. They're going to have to score on defense. That really is what it comes down to, right? And I mean just a top 5 scoring defense, top 5 turnover defense, like the things that actually matter, not yardage. Because I'm with you. Yardage, I like to give you grief, but you're right. Like there's plenty of teams that push the ball around in the 20s. That's where they have to be.
All right, we got 4 Down Territory coming up. Troy Rank will join us coming up at 7:45. Avalanche Stars programming note. In case you haven't heard it, they changed the start time at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I love them today. I do
too.
The whole bit about bubble hockey, no home ice, no travel, momentum is huge in this environment because there's very little to necessarily ruin your momentum or to change momentum because the environment doesn't change at all.
Mm-hmm.
So when you've done what they've done the last 2 days, last 2 games, what gets injected into the formula that's going to really impact that momentum? Nothing. They don't have to change venue. They don't have to get on a plane and travel. They don't have to check into a hotel. They don't have to go play in Dallas. It's the same. So the one thing I think the biggest takeaway I take from bubble basketball and bubble hockey, man, momentum is everything. And they got it.
Yeah, they do.
And I see no reason for them to lose it.
I
Avs
do.
win Game 7. Book it. Book it.
It's booked?
Book it.
I booked it.
Book it. And I don't want to hear any of that jinxie cat nonsense either on a Friday before Labor Day weekend. None of this.
I'm with you.
You know what it is?
Book it.
I don't want to hear jinxie cat. Oh, Evans, don't be a jinxie cat. You know what I've got right now? You know what I have right now? The word of the day. What do I have right now?
Swagger.
Swagger.
Man, I tell you what, it's great to have that much confidence when you don't have to actually put on the skates, the blades. I call them the blades.
When it comes to the Avs right now, you know how I'm feeling?
What?
Dripping.
Oh, you're dripping?
I'm dripping.
Dude, you're ready to, you know what? You're ready to
dripping.
You're ready to drop gloves.
I am dripping.
Tape to tape.
When it comes to the Avs and my belief in the Avs. Go, Avs, go.
Yes.
Game
I love it.
7. Book it. All right. 4 Down Territory coming up next.
Surgery is the right option. They can do that as well. Guys, 20 years I live with excruciating back pain. And you know how it does, regardless of how you got it. It just checks you out of life, right? You quit thinking about, I can't go play golf. My back hurts. I can't go to the gym. My back hurts. I can't do that. My back hurts. And every day you've just checked out of life. Let them help get you back into life. They did it for me. They can do it for you. All you have to do is pick up the phone. Take this first step and go see them. 303-367-2225. That's 303-367-BACK. Or find them online at spine1.com.
down territory.
Oh.
On Sports Radio 104.3, The Fan. Ready, Brad. First down.
I don't know that it was anything in particular. I just think it was a good opportunity. We have guys there. It's a good opportunity to give Ike a fresh start back on the East Coast. I'll be his biggest cheerleader. I hope he makes us look bad, and he's a great player there. I'm cheering for him. You know, it just didn't work out here to the extent that he wanted it to.
Wow. Now that is some major league world-class spin there by Vic Fangio, putting a sunny side on the Isaac Yadam trade.
Yeah.
I loved your line from earlier. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's yours. Go ahead. Take it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he's already made you look bad. You drafted him in the third round 2 years ago, and now in a position that you could say it's deep. It's deep with inexperienced people. How about that? It's deep with rookies and guys who haven't played a lot. Yeah, he already has made you look bad. Hey, mission accomplished. You win. Ding, ding, ding. You nailed it. On the head. A third rounder, supposed to be one of the core players, 2 seasons later, Mike. He's shipped off for a 7th rounder.
Man, I can't wait to watch these other corners if they're so good that your former third-round pick of just 2 years ago just couldn't beat out these guys. I mean, I can't wait.
Well, the depth is just
new no-fly zone. I get that Derrick Henry, I mean, he was a beast at the end of the season.
Sure.
But it was also last season that the Broncos shut out the Titans 16-0 and held Derrick Henry to just 28 yards on 15 carries.
Right. Completely different offense.
How? Ryan Tannehill came into that game.
Right. They had when they started that offense, they had a Hall of Famer playing quarterback, 2nd overall pick in Marcus Mariota. Where is Marcus Mariota nowadays?
He's backing up Derek Carr.
Backing up Derek Carr. It just the offense had no rhythm, it had no sync, it had no ability to stretch the field or open up the field throwing the football. He just wasn't playing well enough. When Ryan Tannehill came in, they started to play more complementary football, and that's when that really was, because before then, Derrick Henry was a guy. Like, he was big and he was fast and all those things, but he wasn't really doing much that season. I don't recall.
No,
him.
In fact, even after the Denver game, he was still kind of blah for the next couple of games. And then this is the way he finished: 188, 159, 149, 103, 86, 211, and then 182, 195.
Yeah, once they figured out what they again, you want to talk about the importance of identity. We talk about it here all the time. What's your identity? What are you guys going to be? We don't know. What are you? What are you going to be? Like, that was them. Okay, we were this with Mariota. It hasn't worked because Mariota is not traditional. Like, you got to be college. And so it didn't work, and you can't put him in college situations because he gets hurt. So it just didn't work. It took him a couple of weeks to figure out this is what we're going to be, and this is what Ryan Tannehill can lead us to. And then it was like, man, then that guy became a semi-truck cruising down the highway.
Next in 4-down territory. Cam Newton. It became official yesterday. No real surprise, but he will be the Patriots' starting quarterback. Do you expect a bounce-back season from Cam Newton in New England?
Yes. And let me throw a caveat in there. If Cam Newton can remain healthy, then yes. I expect a bounce back season
So,
from Cam.
so that makes the Patriots what? The still the favorite to win the division? A wild card team?
I think
a team that even
Mike,
with Cam Newton bouncing back, they'll miss the playoffs. What are they?
I think they win the division. If he can
If
stay
he's
healthy.
So you're telling if he plays 15, 16 games,
Yeah.
they are still the team to beat in that division.
Do you think it's Buffalo? I know I know. I mean, they got a Hall of Fame quarterback. I know that. No, I don't think it. I don't think.
Well, if Cam Newton can play 15, 16 games, then it'll be intriguing to watch. I'm curious to see how the Patriots use him.
I mean, the Bills have a outstanding defense. The Bills have there's a lot that's to be excited about the Buffalo Bills. Don't get me wrong, there is. But come on, okay, a completely healthy Cam over a completely healthy Josh Allen. All things being equal, they're both really healthy. Who are you taking?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm taking Cam.
Yeah, he was former MVP.
Yeah. So
Till
that's
Von
all.
Miller ruined him. By the way, Broncos against Cam and the Patriots, Week 5. Next in 4 down territory. Steelers radio. The Pittsburgh Steelers might be looking to extend Ben Roethlisberger's contract because he carries a huge cap number. His contract runs through 2021, but his cap number for 2021 is $41 million. He'll turn 40 next March. Now, the Steelers are saying we'll evaluate the season. Are you expecting, just like Cam Newton, are you expecting a bounce-back season, if healthy, for Ben Roethlisberger?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he didn't have anything to bounce back from. He got hurt. I mean, he got to bounce back from injury, but the year before, it wasn't like he was – I mean, when was the last time he had a drop-off?
Yeah, he can still play.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I expect a really good year for the Steelers.
That'll do it for 4 down territory. Our tour around the NFL. Bring that to you each and every morning at 7:30. All right, Adrian, we've got Troy Rank, our Denver 7 insider, will join us coming up next. It is cut down day tomorrow for the Broncos. Does he expect any surprises? Troy will tell us next. All right, here he is, our Denver 7 insider, Colorado Sportscaster of the Year. Troy Rank, presented by Tranny Law. Good morning, Troy.
Morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. Any big surprises coming down the pike when it comes to cut day for you?
Always appreciate you asking, Mark. I put my projected 53-man roster on the denverchannel.com. There's some tough decisions to make: a defensive line, tight end, receiver, and possibly inside linebacker. If you ask tough, the one name that's out there, would they ask Todd Davis to restructure if they believe Mark Barron's going to play in sub packages? I don't know that's the case, but there's been some speculation on that. Or would they even, again, we saw Adrian Peterson get cut like an hour ago. Would the dynamic of this year is teams are even more reluctant to claim a guy's contract?
Deal with a team and, pick up draft capital for next year?
Yeah, they have depth at tight end, but it's just not proven.
Right.
Like, let's say if Jake Butt had played in the preseason, I would say yes, Mike. Let's say he had played well, and then they could move him. But the hard part, because I think Jake deserves to make the team based on camp, again, what we see. But the problem is, if you say he's not going to make your team and you call around, they are like, man, you know everything about him, and he's not making your team, and we haven't seen him play. So it undermines the ability to get draft collateral. So I don't, Tim Patrick would be one at receiver who's, he's a proven veteran in this league in terms of being in the league, playing special teams. If you believe that we got to find a way to keep Tyree Cleveland over him, but, ultimately they may say, hey, which is not worth the risk, and we believe Tyree Cleveland will go through waivers and be able to go onto our practice squad.
Vic Fangio said that he hopes that the Yadam trade proves he hopes Yadam goes out there and proves them wrong.
Makes them look bad.
Yeah, makes them look bad. And I say, ding, 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 you mission accomplished. He's already made you look bad. You drafted him in the third round only 2 years ago. What the hell's going on at the cornerback position?
Yeah, Hassan Bailey made the team. He made Yadam expendable. And he might make Devontae Bosby expendable, where Bosby they might try to cut and sneak him and put him back on practice. I think Devontae Harris is probably the leader right now to be the number 3. Michael Ojemudia is definitely going to be in the picture. It's just probably not in the first week, maybe not the first 2. But he is coming on strong. So does that mean Bosby lands on the practice squad? Hassan Bailey's made the team. I don't see him starting week 1. He's clearly made the team. I will say that you guys had a great conversation on the draft yesterday when I was driving into camp. I will say this about Vic Fangio in a very narrow scope. I appreciate when a coach wishes a guy well going out the door and say, I root for your success. Too often teams I've covered just sabotage a guy going out the door. And I just think it's bad karma. It didn't work for whatever reason, and we move on. And best wish, and I hope, unless the guy was personal and he was a bad locker room, that's different. But I do appreciate when, hey, it didn't work out here. I hope it works out somewhere. You're a good guy. You worked hard. Our scheme wasn't a fit. That's at least partly on us, instead of when guys work, it's a credit to the organization. And when they don't, you blame the player. I hate that.
You can follow Troy on Twitter at Troy Rank, and he does have the link to his projected 53-man roster. Check that out. You willing to give the Nuggets the benefit of the doubt after a pretty bad Game 1 loss?
I am, and I don't like being in that position in the playoffs, but anyone who watched the second half of that Utah game, they were emotionally and mentally spent. Whether it's the bubble climate, it's everything just kind of adds up, and they look done. They look like a team that needed 2 days off to clear their head and rest their bodies. So I had no doubt that they were going to struggle in Game 1 against the Clippers. It's not a great matchup, number one. And they were spent emotionally. So I'm willing to say Game 2's the barometer. If they go out and get smoked in Game 2, then you're like, okay, they're probably going to get swept. I have it going 6, them losing in 6, with maybe the possibility. If you get into a Game 7, who knows? But I'm not surprised at all by what I saw last night. They just looked like they ran out of gas. And Kawhi Leonard's really freaking good. If people don't understand why Toronto won a title last year, he is so patient. He is so unique. The basketball looks like a Nerf ball in his hand. He is just such a different type of player with the mid-range game. Nobody does that anymore, and he's just such a unique player. I'm watching him, but yeah, I will give them the benefit of the doubt based on game. me is the barometer.
Avalanche at 2:00 today. Avs got all the momentum. They've captured all that momentum. What do you think about this Avs? Who do you like and why?
A getaway game for Game 7.
That's right. Trot out the Sunday lineup.
Swinging at the first pitch, boys. Got a bust to catch.
Yeah.
I just think that is so bizarre. You have a two. I used to watch Night Flight on USA Network. I'm not sure I watch anything on USA Network now. I guess, was it Blue Collar was on there? One of those shows. But it's been a while since I watched USA Network. Wrestling with my kids like 10 years ago. But anyway, I like the Avs' chances. Mark, you laid it out perfectly a couple days ago. The disrespect of benching their goalie, it appears to me they took personally. They've just got to get away from being too cute. They're so skilled. At times they forget to get grimy. If they stay grimy, block shots, stay physical, they are more skilled than Dallas. But you can't take stupid, undisciplined penalties. The only way they lose this game, for me, I'm certainly not the hockey guy. The guys are in the afternoon. Is if they end up the power play deciding it, meaning they're too cute on their own power play and they commit 2 or 3 stupid penalties that give the Stars a couple cheap goals. But they've rallied around Hutchins. He's their guy. That's why I think they win it. It's personal that they benched the Stars goalie, and they took that personally, which they should, and they've rallied around their own guy.
Yeah, and I think it's also, you got to look at it from the Dallas side. I think you really messed with some mojo. I think you got in the head of Hudobin by doing what you did, and you definitely, you know how it works in sports. You can't lose momentum and think that you're just going to flip a switch and get it back. And what Rick Bowness did, the Bowness blunder in Game 5, he put some thoughts into his players' heads that they haven't been able to get back to where they were at. So they're going to be the tight hockey team this afternoon, and the Avalanche are going to be the loose hockey team. And I think that'll prove to be the difference. All right, we'll see what happens. Troy, thank you so much.
You got it, guys. Take care. See you.
Troy Rank, our Denver 7 insider, and he is presented by Tranny Law. Troy and all of our guests appearing on the Fireball Hotline. If you get a Is It Just Me, hit us up on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. Also, a question mark coming up in just a couple of minutes, and we'll get to all of that. But, yeah, I love the Avs today, and it's on the USA Network.
The USA Network.
Yes. Home to Bones reruns, Law and Order.
It's kind of the rerun network,
isn't it? Good, solid rerun network, yeah.
Syndication network.
Big syndication network, yeah.
Right. It's a great place to find old shows when you're flicking around and you're like, oh, hey, I forgot about this show. Right there on the USA Network.
Oh, look, Charm's on.
Yeah. That show's cute. It's about witches.
Jared in Commerce City. Is it just me? I can't believe a 2 p.m. start for a Game 7 in the playoffs? Peeps are going to be working at that time. Well, get your work done. Come on, it's a holiday weekend. A lot of people are going to be cutting out early anyway on a Friday, right?
Can I give another point of order since we're on the point of order thing?
Point of order.
Right.
Okay, point of order. Here we go.
We had to go Vic Fangio point of order, right?
Yeah.
What was that last texter did he give a name?
Jared.
Jared? Isn't all Game 7s in the playoffs?
Yes.
I mean, that's just kind of a point of order. I mean, you don't have a Game 7 regular season. It's a playoff thing. Just, But, yeah, I'm with you. You got to work.
So my buddy from Dallas, I texted him, I said, what's the Game 7 view from down there? He said, cautiously optimistic. Definitely not doomsday. I went, I said, I think this is an Avalanche layup. He says, it all depends if Dallas's first line shows up. Yeah, they have not shown up. The Sagan-Ben Radulov line.
Radulov?
I assume I'm pronouncing it right. I'm going by what I hear from Pierre Maguire, but according to him, it's now Mikko Rantanen.
Well, it's
not
like
Mikko Rantanen.
It's like Calgary. When you're Canadian, you pronounce it's.
When did he become Rantanen?
Again, organization, Rantanen. Right?
Well, I guess so.
Right.
So you think it's just a Canadian thing, huh?
I think it's maybe French Canadian, but it's just the way they say things. Like you could take a pretty innocuous name like Jones, and they'd make it something like Jones, like Jahones. You know what I'm saying? There. You see him at the, and he puts the oil in. He puts the oil in before he puts on. Like he'll put on the pants and the shoes, and then he'll have like a T-shirt on. One of them like V-neck T-shirts, right? Then he goes to oil up his hair. He gets the proper amount of oil on, washes his hands, then he puts that tight shirt on. That window pane, classy, some type of blue, check mark, purple jacket. And then he says, "Follow me, boys, to victory." And he just leaves.
He does have a Bond quality to him.
There's no question.
He definitely does
He's
have
the
a
most
Bond.
Bond-esque.
Yeah.
Like, if you had a name, like if you had to give each coach manager kind of a character, who they would be, right? Like if we were making a movie and we were casting a movie, right? Like Bednar would be a Bond type of character.
Yeah.
Vic Fangio, I think of him, I look at him like avuncular. He'd be like Uncle Buck, right? Just over making sketty, watching the kids, right?
Yeah.
Have Uncle Buck come over.
Like I could see, you're right. It's like the guy that played the dad in Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
That's Vic.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's Vic Fangio.
Yeah. Bud Black.
Vic has a favorite chair.
Oh.
That Vic has a favorite chair that he likes to, and it reclines.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And who would, like, who
And
would,
heaven forbid you talk while Vic's watching a show, because the game. That will not go over well.
or reading the paper.
Yes.
Like, hey, pipe down, I'm trying to read. What about Bud Black? Like, what character is Bud Black?
Yeah, Bud is he's not quite into the Vic territory, but
No.
he's definitely not, he's not suave or anything like that.
No.
That's a tough one.
He's definitely a supporting actor.
Yes.
Like, he's not the lead. Like, obviously, Bednar is the lead.
Bednar's the lead. Yep.
And Vic, frankly, even though Vic is the uncle, he's still kind of the lead because he's kind of, he's avuncular, but he can be a little bit testy.
Michael Malone's the guy. He's like that kind of, wisecracking neighbor.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's always like popping over to your house.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Michael Malone. Yeah.
Anyway.
He's the guy that used to peek over the fence to Tim Allen.
Right.
Right?
Howdy-ho, neighbor.
Hey.
I love this one from Dave. You know that Jared Bednar still uses Vitalis. Do they even make that anymore?
I don't know, but that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Whatever Vitalis is left on the planet, Bednar has it, and he uses it.
Yeah.
All right, this is KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You know how it gets on a Friday. We get a little loose on a Friday.
Yeah.
It's what we do. You don't know that by now.
Kind of help you ease into the weekend.
Exactly.
Right? Ease into work.
Yeah, somebody asked, is it Vitalis or Brill Cream?
Brill Cream. No, it's oil. There's an oil to it. Vitalis. What was the other one? Well, I said it earlier. What was the one I said earlier? Not Vitalis. It was was anybody listening to me? Anyone? Apparently, I wasn't even listening to myself.
You know, when you get going on something like that,
right? You just kind of
I just kind of let you just go for a while.
Yeah. There's a couple of those oils, well-oiled hair. You got the. You just see it too. You sprinkle some out. It's like comes in a in a plastic like container with the little hole, like the plastic thing of the hole on top that only lets like 1 or 2 drops out at a time. Boop,
Yes.
boop, boop, as you push it out there. Right.
This is where you drop in, guys. What's going on?
Yeah. I still am having a tough time. I almost wanted to call Bud Black like Cliff Clavin. But but I'm saying because he's not a lead, but he's a. And I'm having a tough time coming up with a Bud Black character.
Yeah. Well, we'll ask the texters.
All right.
RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. As we get to question mark, presented by Breaks Plus. I'm looking for a good question. Oh, here we go. This is one. This is on Jadeveon Clowney. Apparently, the Saints and the Titans both making a push to try to get Jadeveon Clowney.
Me personally, I would say no. I think when you look at kind of what Jadeveon Clowney has been since he's been in the league, like the defenses that he's been asked to play in, I think he's a defensive end. I don't think he's an outside linebacker, Mike. I don't think he's a 3-4 outside edge guy. He's not a big 5 technique or 4 technique, 2 gap in the edge. And I believe he's kind of what we used to call in my day the spinner, meaning you get out there or rover or whatever you want to be, and you can line him up anywhere in a pass rushing situation. I just don't know. I think he fits better in New Orleans, in Tennessee in that style. So I don't necessarily think he's as much. I mean, he can play anywhere in any system because he is really good, but I don't know that he's a fit here. And you're still counting on, at what cost? Jadeveon Clowney, so what are you going to do? You're going to make Bradley Chubb come off the bench? And then unless Bradley Chubb is really injured. Bradley Chubb really injured? Like,
they keep saying that he's going to be fine, but you and I have both said this week it just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't. I mean, I guess
something's up. But you're right. Are you going to even if Bradley Chubb requires some sort of cleanup procedure for that knee?
Okay.
I mean, that's still only keeping him out, a couple of weeks. You'd be doing it with the idea that he's going to get healthy and be healthy for the bulk of the season. So you're right.
Right.
Where does that? And I like the Broncos defensive line a lot. When you start talking about on paper, Vaughn, Chubb, Casey, Shelby Harris, Purcell, Draymond Jones.
Right.
Especially knowing you got Derrick Henry.
DeMarcus Walker.
Let's not go crazy. But, yeah, you start talking about that defensive line as being one of the, I think, real strong position groups on this team. Yeah, bring on Derrick Henry. Let's go. I think they can hold up.
They need to hold up.
They better hold up.
They've got to hold up.
But the other thing, too, though, is that I know Derrick Henry's kind of being, and will be over the next week, will be portrayed as the boogeyman and all this. But Derrick Henry found his groove late in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how it works late in the season, especially for a running back. You kind of found your rhythm. You're in good shape. Your conditioning's good. The weather's a little bit cooler, colder.
Right.
And so with a preseason, which there has been no preseason, you're telling me that Derrick Henry's going to be in the kind of shape to go out there and all of a sudden carry the ball 25, 28, 30 times? No way.
Yeah, I mean,
no way. It's a perfect time to catch him.
The flip side of that is also true. This defense is not going to be it if your offense is struggling. If your offense is struggling, you got to spend a lot of time on the football field. You're not going to be in the kind of shape to maintain gap control and to do those things on a consistent basis because you're going to be the one, sucking on eggs. So, both of those statements can be true.
Sucking on eggs?
Yeah.
I got to get Sean Drotar in here, but before I thought you sucked air. I thought you're winded, you're sucking air. I've never ever heard anybody say when you get winded, you're sucking eggs.
Yeah. You're sucking on an egg. Like you got an egg in your mouth and it's hard to get any air in there. Egg sucking.
Is this a Mark Schlereth original?
It may be.
Seriously, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say,
yeah.
They're tired. That defense is tired. They're sucking eggs.
Yeah.
Boy, the Nuggets last night. Coming off that Game 7, they were sucking eggs.
Can you imagine how hard it'd be able to breathe with an egg in your mouth?
Good point. All right, Sean Drotar from our exceptional nighttime lineup. He was out at Broncos yesterday. He joins us now. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, fellas.
Hey, Sean, give me your initial thoughts about practice and, what everybody's been concerned about is not this defense, but the offense. So kind of your initial thoughts on the offense and what you were able to garner from practice yesterday.
Well, I think the first thing that stands out from practice is that Courtland Sutton may have another level in him, which is pretty remarkable, but he was essentially unguardable in the gameplay part of practice yesterday. We've seen him go up for 50-50 balls and come down with a bunch of them. Saw that again yesterday near not in the end zone, but about the 5-yard line during that scrimmage type of practice. They were not hitting yesterday. It was just pads and helmets. But I haven't seen him very often come down with one over 2 Broncos defenders, which he did, and they were well covered. So his ability to go pluck that ball is very special, and it looks like there may even be the best could be yet to come for Courtland Sutton. Really nobody could hang with him no matter who they threw at him, and that's pretty impressive. Noah Fant was similar. The number of routes and different routes they had him running was also notable, even including routes that had him near the back of the end zone. There's a couple different things where you see him in spots where maybe we didn't see him last year. And he seemed to have a lot better rapport with Drew Lock than he did as well. So that's pretty interesting. As far as the running game goes, Phillip Lindsay looks really good in between the tackles, which is not necessarily where you want him, but that's really where he looks good. And catching the passes, not quite natural, especially in contrast with Melvin Gordon, who does it almost effortlessly. With Melvin Gordon catching that ball on those swing passes, it really looks like a handoff. With Lindsay, it still looks like a little bit of a work in progress.
Busy with Sean Drotar. He was out at Broncos practice yesterday. I find it interesting you bringing up Sutton and Fant, and for all the talk about Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler and Albert O and everything, Drew Lock does only have 5 games under his belt, and don't you think in the early going he is going to lean on the familiarity that he did build in that short time with Fant and Sutton last year?
Well, I would think so. And the truth of the matter is, I would hope so. Although the upside for Jerry Jeudy is essentially unlimited, you're certainly looking at a season this year where Courtland Sutton's still the number 1 wide receiver. And Noah Fant is, I think, going to be the number 1 tight end. I know there's the excitement about Albert Okwuegbunam, who did not practice yesterday, but he's not as talented overall a player, and he's a more raw player. What he does have is tremendous speed and pretty good hands. And yeah, there is somewhat of a familiarity with Drew Lock, but I think that's really overstated because I think, Stink, you can speak to that. The idea that fans sort of run into is, well, he's familiar. That's his guy from Missouri, and so he's going to hit him up a lot. Look, when you're in the pros, that's not the way it works. You go and hit the open guy. You go and hit the guy on the field, and if he's your friend or not, that happens off the field, not on it.
You mentioned that, nobody's been able to cover Courtland Sutton. How much of a concern is that for you, considering they just got rid of Yadam and they've got a bunch of unproven corners they've got to make a decision on? I mean, who's your starting 3, including, your 2 outside guys and your nickel?
Well, you're definitely looking at A.J. Boye, Bryce Callahan, although Callahan, as we know, the last time we saw him play in Chicago, he was in the slot where he was excellent, a guy that literally on the statistically allowed the fewest yards per pass attempt in the slot last time he played when he was with the Bears. So he's a better fit in the slot. Now that means who's going to be on the outside. Yesterday, Ojemudia was in pads, the Broncos' 3rd-round pick, and he was going full speed. So he was full go. They had him matched up against Sutton at times. That did not go well. Not that you would expect it to. But that's where I think one of the interesting spots on the team is, fellas. We've looked at the tackle spot and we've looked at the cornerback spot and wonder if that's one of the things where the Broncos are lacking. Logan Ryan was sitting out there all year in the offseason. They didn't want to go get him, so they obviously feel comfortable with someone. As to who it is, to be completely honest, I'm not really sure. That they like Devontae Harris, they like Devontae Bosby, but the loss of Yadam, it's not as clear as it was. What is clear is Sang Bassi, the undrafted player out of Wake Forest, is going to make this team, but making him as one of the top 3 guys, not yet.
All right, Sean, on our big board of predictions, you have the Broncos going 9-7. Based on what you've seen in the time that you've been out there, including yesterday, you still feel this is a 9-7 football team?
As a swing tackle back and forth, that not only gives them a help on the right tackle, but it also gives them at least a bit of insurance if Garrett Bowles in a contract year doesn't look as good as they hope.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many things that you've got to question about this football team. All right, Sean, man, we appreciate you. Thanks for being out there, and thanks for all the info.
My pleasure. Take care, fellas.
All right, Sean Drotar, part of our nighttime crew. You got Nick and Cecil, and then Sean on our fan late night. They do a great job. It is an Is It Just Me Friday. Oh, you can't have an Is It Just Me Friday without hearing from Avsman.
Oh, Avsman is back.
Avsman.
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 Yes, okay, good.
Is it just me, or what a shock? Rail on fans for making excuses for the Avs when half the team is hurt, but now the excuses are just flowing for the Nuggets. Oh, they're tired. Is it just me, or was this totally expected?
That's just you.
First of all, the Nuggets are being given a 1-game pass.
Yeah.
Okay? If they go out and get blown out again in game 2, you're not going to hear me. You're not going to hear you, I would assume. I would assume you're not going to hear really anybody talking about, well, I think they're still tired. So let's give them a pass. They're down 2-0 in the series. No, nobody's going to do that. But in the case of the Avalanche, I guess I'm curious what Avsman wants here, because it sounds to me you want it both ways. So if they win, hey, this is awesome. This is great. What a play what a pass by Nathan McKinnon. What a play knocking the puck out of midair by Rantanen and scoring the goal. Look at what Cale Makar's doing if they win. But if they lose, the injuries. I guess what I'm saying is I guess he wants to be able to put the Avalanche sort of in this nice position where no matter what happens, you can't hold them accountable or there could be no criticism. If they win, great. But if they lose, hey, it was the injuries.
Right. I mean, this sounds like classic.
You just don't want to have to be pinned down to actually hold them accountable for anything.
Avsman sounds like classic. I've got Sakic, Forsberg, Waugh, Footer, Blake posters still hanging in my room. That to me is what this sounds like a bit. To not recognize what the Dallas Stars did when they had them on the ropes, the message they sent that we've got this thing locked up and we can take a night off because we don't want to play back-to-back nights. Like if you refuse to recognize that, then how in the world can you take me seriously? Or can I take you seriously? Excuse me, I said that backwards. When you want me to give the Avs nothing but credit for being injured, nothing but, you're 100% right, Mike. It's give us all the credit in the world, but don't hold us accountable if things don't work out because we have a built-in excuse. I'm sorry, I don't operate that way.
Yeah, I just don't like.
Sports doesn't operate that way.
No, I don't like blaming losses on injuries or officiating. I hate it.
And I don't do that. Alls I am saying about the Nuggets, and I gave them no slack on the physical exhaustion. I gave them no slack. I cut them some slack on being down 3-1 and battling all the way back in the emotional just drain that was showed up in the last 3 quarters yesterday. And it showed up because, frankly, why did it show up? Hey, the Clippers are a better team. They're fresh. They're a better team. And they took a team that was emotionally drained and put lockdown defense on them, and guys didn't hit the shots, and it was a major exhale in my you can almost hear it on television. Like, all right, that didn't go well. We're gonna have to get back to the drawing board type thing. But by no way or by no means am I saying, hey, it's okay, Nuggets, you'll be okay. No, I'll hold them accountable. I'm just giving them a 1-game pass based upon their series against Utah. And what an exciting, what an emotional, what a draining series that was. And, oh, by the way, that Game 7, 80-78, that game was, hey, there's no physicality when you're just knocking down threes all over the place and nobody's playing defense. That game was different, Mike. That was an old school game. And, yeah, I'll give them a bit of a pass, but I'm not going to the boneheaded
Dallas.
Right.
Beat them 4-1, smoked them. And they did that with injuries and with their third-string goaltender. So they proved it can be done.
Yes.
So go out and do it again.
Right.
You got all the momentum. Dallas is the team that's going to be pressing. Dallas is the team whose top line isn't performing. Dallas has the goaltender who was cruising along until his coach decided, take a day off.
Right.
Oh, by the way, that day off, change that. I got to put you back in because the guy that hasn't played in 18 days that I decided should get the start was so bad that I have to put you in, and there goes your day off.
Yeah.
You don't think that messed with his mojo? Come on.
Let me just morph this into a Broncos conversation, kind of an Avs Broncos conversation, Dallas Stars conversation, okay? So anytime you make a move as a coach, like Rick Bowness did with Dallas, you're sending messages, right? We believe we're better than the Avs, right? We're hey, my goaltender needs to play better because all these games are, 6-4 games or whatever they are, right? So you're sending that message as well. So there's a couple messages that were sent. Just like Vic Fangio, did you hear that Vic Fangio has made injured players go out in full pads and do rehab stuff in full pads?
Right.
What message are you sending? Your message you're sending is, hey, Juwan James, I don't think you're really hurt. Let's get out here and get our stuff done. There's a punishment aspect to putting on full pads and having to go out there and do your rehab in a helmet. That's punishment, Mike. That is, hey, you're hurt, but you're not that hurt, and we need you to play. So don't discount the fact that messages are being sent all the time. And
with, why aren't you applauding the Avalanche for doing what they've done with all these injuries? Why are you not holding the Nuggets accountable like you hold the Avs accountable with all the injuries? It's always that provision with all their injuries. No, I don't look at it. You're in the second round of the playoffs. It's Game 7. You've climbed out of a 3-1 hole. I don't want to hear about injuries. Okay? Just who's there, who's playing, who's suiting up. I expect to go out and get the job done. They're clearly, even with all these so-called injuries and their do they look overmatched to you? They don't. Vegas, and then it's a double win because now you go to the Western Conference Finals against a Vancouver team that I'd much rather play than Vegas.
I've been very consistent in holding people accountable in the town, like the teams in town, accountable for what they are. The injury issue is you better develop as a front office. You better have depth. What I tell you was one of the biggest issues with Denver going into last season. I was very consistent about this. Was the depth of their roster, right? What I always say, 22 to 25 deep. And guess what? You start losing a few players, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be 7-9, 6-10. That's what you're going to be.
Well, I guess
depth
my final thought on it is just, and we got to break, is that all I've heard for several years is all the amazing young talent that the Avalanche had developed.
Right, then
They've got a pipeline of this young talent, and then added to that this year, all the savvy moves that Joe Sakic made to bring in proven veterans to create a deep hockey team. So we go from a team that is deep and a team that has this incredible pipeline of young talent, and all of a sudden now they're this ragtag bunch of hockey players that are trying to somehow overcome insurmountable odds to win a Game 7. How is it that you can be incredibly young with an incredible pipeline of talent and all these nice additions to create depth, and now all of a sudden we find ourselves, we got nothing. Look at all these injuries.
Yep.
I don't know how we're going to compete.
Agreed.
I mean, talk about just, come on. Don't be afraid. I think we get a lot of that with Avalanche fans. That they just don't ever really want to put any accountability and real standards and demands on this team. It's always just, well, if it doesn't work out, future looks bright type thing. No, go for it now. You're the better team. Win Game 7. They'll win Game 7. Don't worry about it. Injuries or not. All right. Hey, it's time for another season where you can compete against all of the fan hosts and all the fan listeners. King Soopers Fan Football Pick'em. Each week's top scorer gets a $250 gift card to King Soopers. The season's grand prize is free groceries for a year. Get registered right now at 1043thefan.com/picks. More Is It Just Me's coming up next. Hey, Ideal Home Loans has been serving Colorado since 2001. They've helped me out. Over the years, I've done a mortgage, a couple refis with Ideal Home Loans. And with these historic low mortgage rates where they're at, we're talking about low 3s, high 2s in some instances. I mean, numbers that you just probably won't ever see again. So take advantage as a homeowner. Call Ideal Home Loans. Get that free first consultation, and then map out what your plan is, what your goals are. Hey, maybe you're looking to refinance to a lower rate while keeping your existing term. Use the equity in your home to do that special project you've been putting off. Refinance so you can get rid of that pesky credit card debt. And Ideal Home Loans is doing all of this digitally. It's efficient, it's secure, it's organized, and most of all, it is safe. Make that first call to Ideal Home Loans, where first they listen, then they lend. 303-867-7000, 303-867-7000, or apply online at idealhomeloans.com.
Hey, homeowners, you thinking about selling your home? There's never been a better time to sell. And the person I call when I have questions about real estate, well, that's Troy Hansford. Troy sells more homes in Denver than anyone else, and his only goal is to get you the most money possible. Troy will even guarantee that if he can't sell your home for the price you want, he'll write you a check for $5,000. Who else does that? Nobody. Troy can make that offer because every year he helps he helps hundreds of families buy and sell their homes. He has a unique, proven system to get you the most money possible. Right now, he has a backlog of approved home buyers looking for their next house. His direct line, 720-900-4433. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house all cash and he can close in as little as 7 days. There's no risk, no obligation. Call Troy Hansford and get your house sold. 720-900-4433. That's Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Well, call Troy, 720-900-4433.
By the way, for all of you, all you're trying to do is help, and we appreciate it. But we extended the Paxton Lynch smear campaign a couple hours ago, so we're good.
Yeah, Mike was seamless, too. It was awesome.
But
I can't even remember what you did.
I don't
just
either.
remember it was good.
Yeah, it was really good. But don't worry, it's all done. But thank you for thinking of us, making sure that the Paxton Lynch smear campaign does get extended. It was done, and we're all good.
Yes.
So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Av Stars coming up, Game 7, 2 o'clock today on the USA Network. Boy, people are bitter right now about the idea that Game 7 on a Friday at 2 o'clock.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Well, you got to either record it or
Yeah, but that's tough. Then you got to do the whole. Have you ever done that?
what?
Like recorded a game and then like gone out of your way to
No.
avoid hearing what's happening and telling people, don't say anything about the game. Have you ever done that?
No.
I can't recall ever having done that.
I have recorded it, but I haven't specifically, told people not to say anything. I mean, if they say, like, I'm going to find out, I'm still going to watch it. I mean, it still interests me. I want to see how it happened. If I know the score or I know the ending, it doesn't, like, deter me. Like, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, woe is me. Found out the score. Not going to watch now. Like, I don't, Now, maybe if it's a blowout and it's your favorite team, I guess, then maybe that'll deter me.
But is this, okay, 2 o'clock on a Friday is not ideal, but it is a holiday weekend. A lot of people try to get out a little early on a Friday anyway.
Uh-huh.
This just gives you an excuse to do it. And, hey, how many people are able to work the start of March Madness around their work schedule? They're able to do that.
Well, this was sprung on you, though.
And is 2 o'clock in the afternoon that much worse than living here in the Mountain Time Zone and all of a sudden an Avalanche or Nuggets playoff game doesn't, start until 8:45 at night? That's not ideal either.
No.
I think I'd rather have the 2 o'clock work around a 2 o'clock start on a Friday heading into a holiday weekend than I would have to deal with yet another 8:45, 8:50 start time when I got work the next day.
If only there was somebody we could call to find out how to, feign or create an excuse to get out of work. If only we had an expert on that.
God, jeez.
Just somebody like, hey, if it was, you just found out you rolled into work, and then you find out why you're at work, that the Avs game starts at 2 and you're a huge Avs fan, is there some way that you could, find a way to get yourself excused?
Inside joke. All right, is it just me? Or while I really appreciate the honest analysis you guys give when it comes to criticizing the Broncos or John Elway, does it always have to be so snarky?
Yes. Okay, go on. Move on.
Put a little bit more snark in it.
There's entertainment in snark.
Yeah.
Like me saying that Vic Fangio said, hey, I hope he makes us look bad. Me saying, hey, he already asked.
See, to me, that's the way you want to hear it.
Right.
It's criticism. It's valid criticism. But it's delivered with a little bit of a humorous edge.
Right. It's 100% true.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're a winner. You got your wish. Like every time you said something, every time you go, I hope or I wish, and it comes true, like, good for you.
Right.
You got it. Now,
It's like how many times do we say, wow, I can't believe the Broncos lost that game. They had such a great Wednesday practice.
Right.
So you could be really, really angry and just drop the hammer on them, or you can deliver it with a little bit of snark.
Yeah.
I love snark.
I do too.
I love snark.
It was fine when we were snarky about Vance Joseph talking about Wednesday practice or how tall a guy was. How'd they lose that game? They're so much taller, you know? But if, I say, what do you mean the offense only completed 45% of their passes? They have so much speed, but they drafted speed, right? Again, that's criticism with snark involved because, I have a different philosophical belief. Yeah, I mean, you should be undefeated. You're just, one of the things I said.
It's the Mach 5 offense.
Right. One of the things I saw, and this was big all over the place, they're as fast as the Chiefs. Should be our motto. Come watch the 2020 Broncos. Hey, guys, we're as fast as the Chiefs.
See? That's snark.
That's
And as John in Arvada puts it so well, does it always have to be so snarky? Does the texter know what show that they're listening to? Good point, John in Arvada.
Yeah.
Good point.
That is a guy who has listened.
I prefer snark to just being mean.
We're
not mean. I don't think we're mean.
I have some.
We're definitely snarky, but I don't think we're mean.
I have some
close to home to you.
Well,
you get personally offended.
It's that. It just hasn't happened overnight.
Ryan in Missouri, who I'll let this text go through because he is a loyal listener.
Uh-huh.
Constructive criticism is better than whatever the heck you two call what you do. You two are like the bullies on Christmas Story. Somebody needs to knock you down to the ground and bloody your noses.
Yeah, good luck. Have you seen me? I'm losing weight and I'm getting ripped. Just don't grab my fingers or try to bend my left knee because I will tap out. I will.
Ow. Knee. Fingers.
It reminds me of the Grandma. Have I ever told you the Grandma story?
Yeah, you told the Grandma story.
Grandma. You grab my fingers, I'm going Grandma on you. I will go Grandma right on you. That kid's like in his 30s now. Isn't that great?
Coming up, in the spirit of what the Broncos are trying to accomplish with this inexperienced offense, we have a golden oldie for you that is guaranteed to put a smile on your face. That's next. Love hearing testimonials. That's what we call it in the business. A good testimonial when one of your great listeners can come back and say, hey, I listened to your advice and man, am I happy I did so. So Siltahar Motors, our buddy Rich, big listener, went to Siltahar and then reported back to us and said, hey, just wanted to say thank you. If I didn't listen to you guys, I'd never have known about Siltahar Motors. They treated me awesome, gave me 0% finance for 72 months, and my credit isn't that great. Been trying for 3 years to get out of my 20% refinance truck, and Siltahar gave me a fair deal on it. I'll definitely be going back. Love hearing those stories, but the fact remains is that, hey, these kind of stories, there are thousands of them when it comes to the history of Siltahar Motors. 60 years leading the way when it comes to the Colorado auto industry. And right now, due to the high demand for their new car inventory, Siltahar now has excess inventory of trade-ins that they're looking to resell. If you're in the market for a used car or truck, Siltahar has one of the best selections around, over 1,800 cars and trucks, 5 dealerships in one offering Ford, Lincoln, Mazda, Volvo, and Maserati. Go to sthmotors.com. That's sthmotors.com. Siltahar Motors. Get everything you want out of a dealership. I love this text from KB. He says, snark? People, we are in the middle of a pandemic. Snark isn't just appreciated, it is a requirement. Have a great weekend, boys. You too, KB.
Yeah.
We'll be here on Monday, by the way.
Yeah, we will.
For those of you who will be working on Monday or up early on Monday,